Hello and welcome back to the Canaries Chat channel. We have another managerial update video with a few more rumours flying about and a few more updates in regards to managers that we've previously mentioned. It does feel like things have been a little bit slower than I think most of us would think in regards to rumours. I think I saw there was a few people mentioning maybe it's a little bit worrying that we hadn't had any concrete rumours or anything like those. Obviously we had the news in the last video around Thomason and O'Neil getting their interviews and having their interviews, but away from that we've not really had any other strong links at any point. So I thought we'd go through. There is a bit more progression around a few of them, so we'll go through that and also the current top 5 favourites. But before we get into that, Liam Manning, obviously the old manager, has released a statement through his agency now, thanking Norwich City fans for their support and kind of his backroom staff. I think he was mentioning around that obviously he is a local lad. I don't think he overly buyed into that enough. I think that would have been a really good way to keep connected with the fans. I don't think he maybe leaned on that enough during his time, but he was mentioning about the disappointment that the club's feeling, disappointment that he's feeling, which is absolutely rightly so. I think it did look towards the end of it that he was a beaten man, and it was the right thing really to kind of put him out of his misery. And he talks about then having some family time and a bit of time to kind of rest and recuperate. So I think most people's perception of Liam Manning is that he's not a bad person. It was just badly timed for him to come to Norwich City, and unfortunately, yeah, it didn't go the way that he wanted. But going from the old manager into the new manager, we have the current top 5 situations. Just quickly, about 65% of the people watching this video are not subscribed, so we set a very audacious goal of trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are so close. I think we're currently only 70 away. So if you're enjoying the Norwich City content, you're enjoying this kind of managerial updates, which I'll keep on doing, and you want to support us on that journey, click the subscribe button down below. So in reverse order, currently 5th most likely is Farker, not sacked from Leeds. I think obviously when you're looking at odds around new managers, they are very heavily changeable depending on how much people are betting on certain people, and I think a lot of money maybe went on Farker when Leeds eventually lost. So his name's still hanging in about there, but I think there's rumours that he's going to get the next like 4 games, which is a little bit ridiculous considering the 4 games they've got are insanely difficult. So you've got Farke, you've then got Carrick, so previously mentioned. It's believed that he wants to stay up north. He's settled up north, and that's where he wants to stay. So it doesn't look like he will be going to any of the 4 clubs that are available. And I think Southampton have decided on it was either their assistant or their under-21s coach. So we do have a little bit more say around the current kind of crop of managers that we could be going for, because obviously we've now not got Southampton sniffing around similar ones. But Carrick was 4th. O'Neil is now fallen to 3rd. So someone who was favourite for a while has had his interview with Norwich as well, is sitting in 3rd, and then followed by Kim Hellberg. So in regards to Hellberg, been a lot of talk with Swansea, supposedly turned down Swansea, and there's going through kind of social media and other kind of news bits, there seems to be a perception from Swansea fans that he's actually been in Norwich, potentially for an interview, who knows, and that Hammarby are also looking to offer him a new contract to keep him at the club. So there's a lot of talk about Hellberg. What I would say is Sam from the EDP, Pinken, is saying that the sources that he has, which are close to the club, believe that Hellberg isn't currently an option. I'll be honest, I wasn't hugely knowledgeable around Hellberg and his experience around managerial, kind of obviously Hammarby and then potentially coming over to England. It was a little bit of a a little bit of a shock name, but I think we've kind of alluded that the left field names are probably the ones that are going to start kind of peeping up a bit more now. But yeah, it seems conflicting sources are saying different things, but for me, I'd probably trust the EDP and Pinkham with Sam and say that if they're saying that they don't think Hellberg's currently an option, then I wouldn't see too much into that. So that's another manager we can kind of tick off, even though he's still second favourite. I wouldn't hold your breath on that. And then we've got obviously Thomason. So seems to be a manager which Norwich fans come around more and more to. He does play that 4-2-3-1. He is quite kind of quick on the counter attack and looks to have a very structured, organised team that plays attractive football as well. So it is someone that I've seen more and more Norwich fans say they'd like. I think out of the current list, more realistic list, because Farker and Carrick are so off now. I think it was really between O'Neil, Hellberg and Thomason, and if we're taking that Hellberg update as that he won't be coming, it's still really between O'Neil and Thomason. I would take Thomason personally, just due to the style of play. The issue with O'Neil is I think he can rally players, but I still don't know, like, his attacking outputs as a manager aren't great and his defensive outputs as a manager aren't great. So what do we get? Whereas at least we know with Thomason, he was having players that could change games for Blackburn, so like the likes of Schmodix and Diaz, but he was still getting the best out of them, and he did literally only just miss out on playoffs by goal difference. So for me, it'd be Thomason. Martin and Will Still are no longer in the running. That's now been confirmed. So there was a few kind of instances where we thought, I think everyone thought Martin's name would be mentioned, and then the Pinkham did an article about around Will Still, and people maybe looked into that a little bit too much. But yeah, it's been confirmed neither of those are now in contention either. So it's certainly kind of, as I said, like we've had more people drop out, but the actual rumours and links to the job are slowing down. I think we can probably expect it being ramped up over the weekend. Now, for me, my prediction is that we'll probably have someone in Tuesday, Wednesday next week to get a few training sessions with everyone there, everyone that's coming back from international duty. It gives them an opportunity then to have a look at the squad before the next game. But that's my prediction. Could be well off, who knows. I would like to see it done sooner rather than later. Ideally, kind of end of tomorrow would be perfect, give them a whole week's worth of training. But yeah, I know money isn't an option, and the owners have said money isn't an option, but if we discount Hellberg, Thomason, O'Neil, Carrick, and then names like Still and Martin, they've all been out of a job. So realistically, it's going to be someone that's not currently in a job. I think Thomason's stock has dropped ever so slightly from the Sweden kind of international disappointment. I think if you actually look at their team, like they're not full of superstars. You've obviously got Gyökeres, you've obviously got Isak, and then really Alanga. Away from that, they're decent. No, they are a good team, but they're not well beaters. So I don't want to look into that too much. International football is also very different to club football. The fact is that he proved he can do it at Blackburn. Yes, he had two very good players helping him, and it did go downhill towards the end. But from everything that I can see, Blackburn fans basically pin that all on him and the owners falling out. So his stock, yeah, as I said, his stock will be slightly lower, but I still think this is one of the times that it's probably worth that risk. The only issue I think some people have is, will he give us the immediate instant results, which maybe Gary O'Neil could give you with his man management? Is that the way you go down? Potentially. But yeah, I'm expecting it to heart up very soon. So hoping to do another one of these videos very soon, announcing who that new manager is and giving my thoughts on that. As always, I want to hear your thoughts on the people that are in contention for the role. Which one would you take? Would you take Thomason? Would you take O'Neil? Comment down below. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and we will see you hopefully very soon for another managerial update.